I have the pleasure this evening in introducing someone, a real friend to Local 100, a friend of mine also, and it gives me great pleasure in introducing her. Some people believe that giving tax breaks to the greedy millionaires and billionaires is somehow good for America. Some people believe that immigrants should be mistrusted and mistreated. Some people believe we don't need gun control or rent control, criminal justice reform, or labor unions representing the men and the women who do all the building, driving, fixing, lifting, and hammering in this country. Well, those people would hate our next speaker, New York Attorney General Letitia James. I guess we're all excited, but I have more to say about Tish. Through her life, Tish has fought the good fight against injustice, wherever that injustice be, in the courtroom, the boardroom, or the crew room, following the trail blazed by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who we honor this holiday weekend. As many of you know, Tish served as a public defender, New York City Councilwoman, the New York City Public Advocate, and since January, the Attorney General. She's a trailblazer in her own right. Tish is the first woman to be elected to New York Attorney General, the first African American to hold that position, and the first African American woman to be elected to the statewide office in New York. She's our friend. Tish had never hesitated to stand and fight with us. When we staged a massive contract rally in Times Square in 2012, Tish was there. When we shut down Broadway and rallied outside the MTA headquarters in 2016, Tish was there. When we organized the workers at the Accessor Ride call center, Tish didn't just send a press release to support. She stood outside the building with us in Long Island City and encouraged the workers entering to sign up with TWU Local 100 because she knew it would improve their lives. Tish was there. And this is our friend. She's a real friend to us. Bear with me one sec. Tish respects TWU Local 100, its history, its leadership, and most of all, the membership and the work we do. Brothers and sisters, let's give Tish a TWU Local 100, our sister from Brooklyn, our friend, our ally, our barrier-smashing, union organizing state attorney general, Brooklyn's own Letitia James, the people's lawyer.
Thank you. Thank you, Earl. So first, let me apologize. I believe I have the flu, but I wanted to come before you today to say thank you. I want to thank your international president, John Samuelson. I want to thank him for all the years of support. I want to thank him for his leadership. I want to thank him for his humility. And I want to thank him for standing up each and every time for working people, not only in New York, but across this nation and across this world. Thank you, Mr. Samuelson. And to President Tony Utano, who's just, he's very shy, very retiring, doesn't realize how much power he has in his hand. But it really doesn't matter because he gets things done. Just ask all of those individuals who were part of a contract dispute how a man with a quiet disposition and a quiet voice came in and resolved the contract. And therefore, you should recognize the power of this man and don't ever underestimate him. He is my friend, and he is someone who I will stand by his side, and I congratulate him on his recent victory. Thank you, President Utano. Congratulations to the employees of SDA Green, all of the workers. Congratulations to those who worked at First Mile Square, bus workers, for their contract. Yeah, that's a round of applause. I know that they're predicting a snowstorm, so I won't be before you long. I recognize that you've got work to do. I can recall at a city council hearing when I was a member of the city council and chair of the sanitation committee, where I held up these chains that unfortunately the Mayor Bloomberg at that time refused to purchase, and as a result we had one of the worst snowstorms in the history of this city that propelled me forward and put me on the front page of the papers all across the city. I did it because of all of you, because I recognize that you move New York, and you should be recognized for all the work that you do, whether or not it's sunlight, whether or not it rains, and whether or not it snows. You guys come to work each and every day, and you should be recognized for your work. After 9/11, there were those who were recognized, but we have to recognize all of the work that you did after 9/11. Given all of the disasters in our country and in our city, given all the events in our city, each and every time it's members of Local 100 who stand up and just do their work without being recognized. And I wanted to say to all of you, I want to thank you for your activism. I want to thank you for your hard work. I want to thank you for moving New York. I want to thank you for being heroes and sheroes. And I just want to thank you. I also want to thank you because I can recall, as a former city council member, the discussions related to Opto. I represented the Franklin Avenue shuttle back then. Remember that? And we were involved in those discussions back then, and we opposed Opto for the Franklin Avenue shuttle. We cited safety reasons. And I will join with this union if they seek to expand, again, technology and automation in the city of New York. We will oppose it because we refuse to allow anyone to take away middle-class jobs in the city of New York. And I will also, as I have in the past, stand with you. When any New Yorker seeks to take their anger out on any of you, it is unacceptable, and we need to stand together and make a strong stand that your safety will not be compromised, and that any individual who takes their anger out on you should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And as we celebrate Dr. King's birthday this weekend, let us be reminded of his quote, that the labor movement was the principal force that transformed misery and despair into hope and progress. And out of it, bold struggles, economic and social reform gave birth to unemployment insurance, to pensions, to government relief for the destitute, and to wage levels that meant not mere survival, but a middle-class life. And as you sit here this weekend, let us be reminded that it was the labor movement that is responsible for the weekend off. And so we should be reminded this weekend of how Dr. King sacrificed his life standing up for the lives of sanitation workers because he believed that they should be treated with dignity and that they were not being treated as men. And so this weekend, it's the labor movement and Dr. King's vision that will not die and that we will keep alive in the hearts and minds of labor. And in this country, as we see thousands of individuals right now who are not getting a paycheck because of the chaos and confusion in this country, and because of the attacks on labor, let us stand together. Let us not be dissuaded by the Janus decision. Let us not be in despair as a result of what's happening in our nation. Let us not be pulled apart. Let us all be together, because what they are doing is pitting one group against the other. one racial group against the other, individuals in different economic classes, people who are working against individuals in a labor movement. Let us not be pitted against one another, and let's not be pitted against one another in this union. This is the time for unity, now like never before. There is too much at stake right now. And so we need to come together. And let us just hope, as we watch the president at 3 o'clock this afternoon, let us hope that he ends this shutdown and that he allows people to go back to work, people who are struggling with making ends meet from paycheck to paycheck. It is unacceptable. Let us put the politics aside and let's think about struggling Americans right now without a paycheck. So no matter where you stand on the political spectrum, it's really about families right now. Children who are struggling, families who are suffering, women who can't pay their bills, individuals who can't pay their mortgage and their rent. No matter where you stand, it's really about family right now. And it's about a belief that we should all be in this together and that we can do better than this. And so as I take my seat, I'm reminded of all of the work that you have done. I'm reminded that you have come over chaos, that you have overcome chaos and adversity. And Local 100 still stands strong. And you are one of the strongest unions in this city, if not this country. And as a result of that, all of you proudly are in the middle class. And remember that as you exit the doors today of how much this union has done for you. And let us be reminded that we cannot, despite our differences, tear down the union for the sake of differences. And let us work together to build this union, expand this union, grow the membership in this union, and stand strong against all of those who try to attack the union. That will be unacceptable. We're in this together. And don't ever think that anyone should come in between you. Always stand together. Always stand strong. And always remember you are part of something bigger than yourself. And that is the union. And no one will bring down the union. And no one will take food out of your child's mouth and take your paycheck away from you. Because if you don't think that's happening now, you better think again. So as Tony's moving in his seat, that means it's time to sit down. But I just wanted to say, thank you. Thank you. As the Attorney General of the state of New York, my job is to protect your rights. And you could be assured that if anyone dares come to this union and try to take away all that you have enjoyed, all of the benefits for your family, your station in life, you can be assured that this Attorney General will throw down the gauntlet and will be in court. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Stand strong. Stand together and represent labor. God bless you and thank you.